Greetings. My name is Abhijit Mohanty, and I'm a master's in computer science student at the University of Illinois at Chicago. As a part of my cloud computing assignment, um, under which under Mark Grechanik, I aim to demonstrate a Spark application deployed on AWS EMR, which uses AWS S3 for data. So as a part of this demonstration, I'll be demonstrating an investment technique called the greedy investment, and I would compare it to the Monte Carlo investment strategy. Now, when I say investment, I make use of historical stock information, which I fetched from the Alpha Vantage API. So let's get started. So the first thing I do is I try and build my application. So I run the following command. Yeah, so as we can see, we've successfully built our artifact, which is in the form of a jar. Now this jar will be stored on an S3 bucket, which is AWS's scalable storage service. Before that, we need to extract the stock information. Uh, as far as stock information is concerned, I've chosen 4 to 5 S&P symbols. Now these S&P symbols stand for companies of which we want to extract stock information from. And the command which we should run in order to fetch the stock information is as shown. So basically what we're trying to run is we're trying to run the stock data request executor class, which would fetch stock information from this particular start date to this particular end date. Now the output data for this stock data request executor is in the form of CSV files, which we can find from the which we can extract from the financial data directory within the stock trading simulation directory. Okay, so we've fetched our stock information. Okay, and now we would like to deploy it onto AWS's storage. Now what we'd like to store is nothing but the stock information and the artifact. Right. So we navigate to the AWS console. Okay. So here we are, and this is the AWS Management Console's homepage. The first thing we would like to use is AWS's Scalable Storage Service. Right. So the procedure for deploying something is to first create a bucket. We have a bucket right here, and yeah, and these represent our folders. So I'd be removing them for the purpose of demonstration. And now we proceed to uh, uploading the files again. So what we do is we click on upload, we add files, and we would like to upload the artifact. Now this would take some time, so let's wait. Okay, so as you can see, the upload of the artifact is complete, and now we proceed similarly in order to upload financial data. Right, so we have our financial data here, which we would like to upload. Right, so we are done. So our next step would be to create a cluster, and for that we make use of Amazon's EMR. So we click on create cluster. We name this as Greedy-Monte Carlo simulation demo. Right, so we would like to select our folder for log outputs, and I would select the bucket which I've created specifically for this demo, and I would select Spark. So basically we have Spark based runtimes installed in the cluster when we select this particular selection. Okay, so select a key pair. So basically if we follow this link, we can create a key pair which would enable anyone with this particular key pair to SSH into the master node, right? And then using these selections we create a cluster, right? So what we do next is we have to add a step. Now when I say add a step, it basically corresponds to the Spark application, such as this. So basically we deploy it in cluster mode, and then we need some options. So these options, there are two pairs of options, or rather two sets of options. One of them corresponds to the Spark submit, and the other corresponds to my jar, the argument which my Java application would use. So I've already right, so this is basically the entry for my driver class. I select the relevant jar, which is here, and I select my arguments. Right. So as of now, action on failure, I only get one option in my drop down. So it's important to remember that we ought to terminate our cluster once our execution is complete. And then we add. So our cluster is still starting up. So once our cluster starts running, we can go ahead and view our logs. So as you can see, our cluster has started running, but our logs have not been generated yet. So let's wait for some more time. So as you can see, the logs have been generated. And the final status of our job is succeeded. So let's go on to see. Okay, and one point before that is we need to terminate the cluster. Let's terminate it. Okay, and let's go and check our output. That will be in the storage. Right, so we can see some logs have been generated and the results have been generated. So in our results, you can download. As you can see, this is our total investment value, wherein this is our total return of the greedy investment. Now, greedy investment represents a strategy in which, suppose I have to make an investment decision today. I make the decision based on the stock price variations based on the previous trading dates. I make decisions based on the previous day's stock value. So as you can see, it's a pretty poor model because we have randomized strategies with the same investment value, that is 18,130, wherein the investment data is randomly chosen and distributed across stocks without any knowledge of the price variations, also fetches a better result. So these two models were run with the help of Spark. So that ends my demonstration. I'll be leaving more information about Apache Spark, about Alpha Vantage, etc. In the description below. In case of any suggestions, likes, comments, please feel free to do so. Thank you. Have a good day.